Hey team, Strachan here, and welcome to the Film Slash Podcast. I'm here, as always, with my co-hosts Kane Diggity and Roadman, and this week we are reviewing 1917.
I don't know if I have the energy for this kind of intro.
It's a killer one. Yeah, World War One. Roadman, what's the movie about?
The movie is basically about these two guys that need to take this ring across this terrible wasteland so they can throw it into the fires of Mount Germany. Okay, it's actually
Is that okay? Are we allowed to use that one?
It's about these two guys who have to deliver a message in time in order to save an entire battalion from running into a German trap.
It's a real race against the clock.
Yes,
But clocks are still not as reliable in that time, I guess.
Oh, good job.
I think his watch breaks. Spoilers. I don't know. It doesn't. Sweet. I'm just going to jump over to my notes because this is the first time we're doing a different thing.
Yeah, look, you may have noticed we changed it up and we're all prepared for it.
Sweet, we're going to do a rating system from now on, just to, get it nice and quick. Nice and quick off the mark, just like this podcast.
Yep.
I'm going to go ahead
Straight into the bin.
and say, this isn't working.
it's not working, guys.
It's not working and I'm out.
Breaking up.
I thought I was in, but the intro was just too much.
Yes, rating. Who wants to go first?
The rating, as shall forever be, there's only 3 ratings, right? It's a don't watch, wait for streaming service, and a watch.
Yeah.
That way we can keep it kind of a little bit, in the grey.
Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and... I haven't asked you guys about this yet.
Oh, okay.
But
Much like the intro and everything else so far.
Rogue host! Rogue host!
There's a specific rating I wanted to give this movie. So,
okay.
if you'll allow me, I'm going to give this movie big screen energy.
Yeah.
Big screen energy, which is basically, I think you should go to the movies to watch this.
Very cool. So basically what you've done is you've taken our agreed upon three very succinct ratings to make
John,
things
we haven't
real
even gone
quick.
to my rating yet.
And instead you've gone rogue immediately and given it something that has zero context. Bro, what's your rating?
My rating
to
is
be
cinema
fair-
or bust. It's the new rating that I've come up with also for the podcast. If you don't watch the cinema, don't watch it ever in your entire life.
Cinema or bust.
Yeah.
Cool.
All right.
Ken Dogs?
What's yours?
Yeah, watch it.
Watch.
That's all I got. Watch it.
Wristwatch.
You remember, you gave me
lot of
3
talking
things I
time.
had to remember for this podcast, Angus. Watch, wait for streaming, or don't watch. And I thought really hard about it.
Wait, they were
and
the
I
only
came up.
things? You didn't have to remember when to show up?
No. And I came up with watch, and then you changed it all on me last minute. I'm sticking with watch.
I'm keeping your,
Well, it's a nice watch, Jordan. You should probably hold on to it.
I will. Yeah, no, go watch it. It's real good.
Yes, real good.
watch.
Initial thoughts. Non-spoilers.
Yeah.
Just we're making sure we're still not doing spoilers at the start.
I agree with you, Angus, when you said big screen energy. I think this is improved by the cinema experience wholeheartedly. It is a film that is meant to be watched on a massive screen. I bloody loved my time with this movie.
Yes, I did too. So this film is, you may have seen, it's a one-shot. Or it perceives to be a one-shot, which is kind of similar to Birdman. And
it basically looks as if the camera follows the whole time. There's no cuts, there's no pauses. It looks as if it makes you feel like you're a person there.
Very immersive.
Yeah, it definitely it kind of brings the intensity up as well. And when things happen, you're feeling it.
I thought it looked fantastic. The whole thing was incredible. The experience was amazing.
Yeah. There's a few things in there that I was kind of not happy with because they were constrained to just having the one shot, which was the lens didn't change. So it was always like a 50mm lens or whatever. So in certain spots, they were it was kind of really close up, and there would have been some great shots that would have done well with a wide angle, but because it was still kind of hindered a bit by the one shot, even though it was and technically awesome.
That's definitely something I also noticed. The lens didn't change. I also picked up on that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, what do we do next in this podcast now? It's all different.
Well, this is I've got down here our initial thoughts I think we're all done with our initial thoughts.
Yeah.
Are you following at home?
What's great?
Love the film. We all said watch. Okay, move it on.
What's great
Moving on.
is whether people like it or not, no one will write in to tell us. People will be like,
Exactly.
oh man, I preferred it before, but they won't tell us.
Okay, now we're heading
Cinema
into
dicks.
Cinema Dicks.
Did any of you have a dick in your cinema?
I did. I had two. I had the person behind me who at a very like intense moment in the film where like, you know, the anxiety was up high, just like went and it was weird. Like there's a moment in the film where the screen goes completely black and you're left to sort of dwell in a moment, and all anyone heard in that moment, instead of like thinking about what's happening, is this guy go and it was just no good. And then I had a bloke fall asleep next to me, and he woke up maybe within the last 10 minutes of the film. I'd gather he missed probably most of the middle of the film. And then his girlfriend and or wife and or sister, I guess, then perceived to
His
explain...
girlfriend, wife, sister.
Yeah, you know, his girlfriend, wife, sister. You know,
What
the
a
classic,
combo.
The classic.
We all know
girlfriend,
where you
wife,
went to see
sister.
the movie, Jordan. That's very believable.
And then she then, at normal tone, went to explain to him all the things he missed during like the wrap up of the film.
Jeez.
Cool.
And that was just really off-putting.
Dang. Broadman? Cinema Dick?
No dicks. Dick free. It was quite a pleasant experience, actually.
Nice one. I want to know why I pay more to book online than to go to the cinemas and get them to do the work for me. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
I'm
fair.
doing the work for them, but it costs me more to do it. So
Mate,
Cinema
They've
Dick
also,
is a
they've
booking
also
fee.
taken about the fact that they also do the getting and the giving you of the food if
Yeah.
you get the food. Like,
No, that's all.
I was
That's all
gonna-
me as well.
I was going to say that if you buy a ticket online, do you reckon you're less likely to buy food at the candy bar because you don't have to go to that counter?
Yeah, potentially.
Maybe that's why.
Yeah.
but will you
It's
buy a
just-
giant
It's
lightsaber?
assuming that you're a dick.
Will you buy a giant lightsaber drink bottle? Because I went there last week and there was a giant lightsaber drink bottle and it was really dumb.
Well, you know, if
I nearly
someone's
bought, I
birthday
nearly
is
bought
coming
4
up,
of them.
so
My birthday's in March. Please don't get me a lightsaber drink bottle. I'll beat you to fucking death with it.
Well, I'll get you a very small one so it doesn't hurt very much. Easy.
very good. All right, I think we need to head on into spoilers. Sound the alarm.
Oh, what a cool.
Yes, we can do it live now.
Nailed it.
Oh, great.
All right, we are in the spoiler section where we dissect and divulge everything about the film. Look out, you've been warned.
Shane.
We'll Shane you up.
Shame on you.
Yeah.
And Shane on you, Angus.
Shane on me.
That episode from Game of Thrones, but instead of the Queen walking down the streets, it's Shane Warne, and everyone's just yelling, "Shane, Shane,
You've been Shane warned.
Shane."
That would be amazing.
People are still throwing. It would have been very out of place.
All right, now judging on what we're up to next.
Yep.
Is I've just realised 2 sound effects in conjunction with each
Oh,
other.
really?
So
Oh, no,
I'm
it's
going to
okay.
play the next sound effect to
Okay.
introduce our next segment. Now that we've introduced that we're into the spoilers, it's only taken us 105 episodes, guys. We'll get there soon.
Professional podcast.
Here we go. This is our next one. You guys haven't heard this, by the way.
Oh,
either.
okay, great.
Ready?
Yeah.
What's in the
Mail.
box?
That's it. It's
All
time
right.
for
Are we allowed to do that?
What's in the mailbox? Which is when we get our slicey slices.
What you listeners didn't get is Angus having to put that bit in live.
Yeah, I was going to say, Angus had to
and
do
his
that himself
performance
now.
of like dropping the mic when he was like doing it. Wow,
He was so
amazing.
confident. He was like, what's that? And then he was like, mail!
Mail.
Oh, he had it down. He was so ready
Wow.
for it.
Anyway, this is our segment called What's in the Mailbox, which is basically just reading out comments that you guys, our audience, have called in.
It is largely so we don't have to pause and be like, oh, no one wrote in on Facebook.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
Basically that.
So we do have Her Majesty's Wardrobe
good.
writing in on Instagram. Said,
Oh, I know what this is about.
Didn't see it, but I was told it would be good. Which is a super insightful one.
It's
So yesterday I picked her up to go and see the film. I also picked Brody up, and then we drove all the way out to the cinema, and the cinema was full, and so we drove back in silence.
Nice little fun road trip there.
So she nearly saw the film because the whole way there, I was like, no, come see the film. Like, it's really good.
It's
You'll
gonna
love
be
it.
good, yeah.
And then we got there, and then it was booked, so I just dropped her back at home, and she didn't
Yeah.
see the movie. And then I saw it today with someone else.
Yep.
Very good.
Yeah.
That's right. Any other mailbags?
I have nothing in the mailbox.
It's mailbox.
Mailbox, sorry. Yeah.
I saw it with Elise. She thought it looked fantastic. That was
Excellent.
the most consistent comment.
Nice one. Sweet. Well, if you want to write into the mailbox, make sure you hit us up on Instagram or Facebook, or you can write into the Gmail. It's filmslicepodcast@gmail.com.
Oh, okay, cool.
Go ahead and give us an email. Yeah. Why not?
We should set up a post office box so people can write real letters and send that in.
That'd be fantastic.
That would be awesome.
Can we just make it my address? I just really want some mail.
All right, stay tuned for that.
At any point in time, are we celebrating our big win of
successfully changing up the
British-
structure? Because I
British-
don't think it's successful yet.
No, I just no. It's, if anything, we're going to revert back real quickly.
Okay.
No, I meant the amount of listeners that we've got. Are we going to mention that or not mention it? We're going to thank anyone?
Yeah, I mean, we
So
can.
it's a good time to thank everyone for,
For sure.
listening in. We cracked.
Angus, blow out the candles.
Do you have a candle sound effect?
Yeah.
What's in the
Candle.
I like it.
You blew out all the candles, yeah.
What did we hit? How many did we hit?
So we've had over 10,000 listens of this podcast.
Which means one poor bastard, it's me, has listened to this that many times.
it's me. I deserve
me.
all the respect.
It's me. Look, we really appreciate anyone out there that is listening, even if you listen hatefully.
After 2 years, good effort, everyone.
Fair effort, everyone.
Our
Yeah,
listeners are slowly declining, it seems like, but we're hanging in there.
We'll eventually get to 11,000, where if it takes us another year or 7 more.
At some
or 10
point,
more,
at some
or
point,
11 more years.
my girlfriend, mother, sister will
I-
start listening.
I do wonder if it's because we don't tend to talk about movies a lot on this film review podcast.
I disagree. Anyway, I guess what's our next segment?
Next segment is a in-depth review of the film.
Oh, okay, good.
And this is the most structured piece of all. But before
that,
Before
classic.
that, we have
Brody's got a special little...
I
the
do
most
believe
favourite segment
we did leave this out of our
of
revamped.
everybody, every listener that's ever listened to us.
What I'm annoyed about is we specifically.
Slappity, number top notch, the special super extreme drastic challenge.
Oh, I don't
Oh,
like the sound of
no.
this.
There you go. So if you've never listened before, we play a game called Slappity number top notch.
Do we, or are we forced to play?
We
It's
do.
more- it's more-
We do. Anyway, in this super extreme drastic challenge special, I'm going to have you guys pick a number between 1 and 5. You will lock in that number, and then I will remove 2 other numbers. And then whoever guessed first will have the chance to switch their number with the other person's number or with the floating number.
Okay, I don't get this at all, but I'm assuming you're going to walk us through it.
But first, to see who chooses first, and most people generally don't want to choose first if you've never listened before, we will play a game of verbal rock, paper, scissors.
I was going to say we're going to play a game of slappity number time. Oh, man.
No. Please.
Okay, here we go.
So
Ready?
it's 1, 2, 3, and then, yep. Okay.
And make sure you
And
say
you
it, because
gotta
Angus,
say
you didn't say it
'cause
last
Yeah.
time.
last time.
Why are you
someone
telling
didn't
me?
say
You're the
it,
one that didn't
okay?
say it.
So, just so that we're all on
Yeah,
the same
yeah,
page,
you're on
this
the
is
page.
verbal, all right?
I've always been on this
'Cause-
page. This is
'cause
just now you getting on my page.
Listeners need to hear it.
Yeah.
Do they?
Yeah.
Or have they
They
stopped
need
listening?
to hear it,
Audio
otherwise...
based.
All right.
Yeah, there goes our last 2 listeners.
Rock, paper, scissors, rock. Oh, shit. What happens now?
Go again.
Rock, paper, scissors, scissors. Oh. All right,
Can
no
you
more.
guys stop fucking this up? Go again.
Rock, paper, scissors, rock.
paper.
You did scissors, you said paper.
I said paper.
Well, because it's verbal rock, paper, scissors,
What? Okay, well, he wins.
Angus wins. You have to choose first. You have to choose a number between
2.
1 and 5. You have chosen 2. Jordan.
1.
Okay, Angus, you have chosen 2.
Idiot.
Jordan, you have chosen 1.
Correct.
I'm going to remove numbers 4 and 5, leaving 1, 2, and 3.
I don't know what this means.
Jordan
What's
has selected
happening?
1. Well, one of them is the bad number, and you don't want the bad number.
Hold
It's
on.
either 1, 2, or 3. Angus, do you want to switch your number with Jordan's number 1,
I'm staying with
or
2.
do you want to switch your number with number 3?
I'm staying 2. 2 is true.
Jordan, do you want to switch your number
No, let's stay with mine.
with number
2
3?
is my boo.
Well, it was number 3, so we...
Wait, didn't I say number 1?
You did say number 1.
Yeah,
we
okay.
get to slap Brody.
So are we slapping Brody?
Yeah, I suppose.
Yes! Oh, wait, how are we collectively... Wait, I need to
Yeah,
take my headphones off.
This is not working. Oh, no.
Okay.
Where are you going?
I'm thinking both ass cheeks. Like, we do an ass cheek each.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Okay.
All right.
I will turn around.
All right, hold on.
You use that way.
Angus, on a scale of 1 to 10, how hard are we doing this?
How hard?
Yeah, what are we?
Oh, just your usual ass slap, I think.
All right. Okay, on 3.
Yeah.
So 1, 2,
1.
3, go.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Ready?
1, 2, 3.
Got him.
Angus went out of time and it threw me off. How do you like it, bitch? It's not
Fucking
very
love it,
enjoyable.
mate.
Oh, that's off-putting.
Feels good. It fuels me.
Anyways.
It fuels my want to play this lovely number time match forever.
Oh, I don't like this.
I was going to stop this week, but no.
So 1917 is a movie based in, is it France? I don't even know.
Yeah, I think it's France.
Yeah. So
I
it's,
gathered that it was France.
A very kind of short time in history. Here we go with our in-depth review.
Do you have a thing to play for this?
No.
Oh man, do you want to come up with one right now?
I feel like I've come up with a lot. If you guys could chip in.
Can I blow my nose, mate?
It's the in-depth review of 1917. All right, cool.
Super. All right. So this movie opens up kind of a green field, and it shows our 2 protagonists.
We're going that in depth,
How
by the way.
how we're going opening scene to scene.
In the first opening scene, the grass is green. It takes up about the bottom third of the screen.
Yeah. All right. Okay. So
What's
there's
great-
2 guys. One of them dies, and he gets in and he saves it. Everyone happy?
I'm
That
done.
was the in-depth review of 1917. Anyway, most positive parts about the film.
Angus has immediately scrapped our idea and immediately jumped back to his safe place.
Yeah.
So the film opens up where our 2 main protagonists are asked
Greenfield.
to they are asked to take a message across no man's land to another battalion which is about to go to war, and of course you find out that it is going to be a trap. So our
By
2
Colin
protagonists
Farrell.
Yeah.
have to go on.
One of the protagonists' brother is in that battalion, so his brother is going to go over the top if he doesn't get the message to him, which is
Yeah,
why he was
true.
chosen, because he's like he's going to be the most likely to put the most effort into getting this message.
there. Yeah. Okay. Angus, what do you think about the setup for this film? Any thoughts? What did you find interesting?
It was probably about like 2 minutes into the first shot where I was like,
The grass is green.
oh yeah, this is only a one shot, which was again, like I said it before, but especially at the start when you're still not sure, like you're still kind of waiting for a cut, just because that's like how the generally how movies go. It did seem quite long. I think it did. It just lasted a bit too long at the setup, like a bit too much talking and everything. And I guess the good thing about having cuts in movies is that you can cut out that dead silence.
Yeah.
But in this, they have to walk from the tree out, in the kind of surrounding area all the way into the trenches and stuff. So they're just kind of filling it with like that awkward conversation, which is fine, but it felt like a bit of a slog.
I think it's one of those things where it's like a cool party trick to have the whole film look like a one shot, but also if you don't have enough substance to fill that space with, you feel the lag.
Yeah.
You absolutely feel it.
It reminded me a lot of like a theater production.
Yeah.
Like
It reminded me a lot of a video game, as most
And like
video
a
games.
cutscene.
Well, no, not really, because cutscenes is part of
But the part where you've got to
my
the part where you've got to follow someone to a mission. Though.
Yeah, the kind of parts where you're just like, you're just in some sort of like third person game, just going through all of the stuff that you're doing, and you're just totally just in the game. Like as I said earlier, this film is very immersive, and I feel like it's the same thing with video games where you're just following your character, just doing something, even if you're not following a mission or whatever, you're just running over to a place, going through all the houses and stuff like that, and seeing though it never cuts, you just feel like you're doing it. And I felt like this film very much felt like that. I felt like we were following at the beginning. We were following them going through those trenches, walking towards the commander or whatever to get the orders, and then we followed them out again. I felt like we would. I felt like I was.
You feel like you're there. Part of it is done really well, and then the parts that I disliked are the parts that felt like a shit Assassin's Creed mission where you've just got to follow someone and not be seen.
Yeah,
you just got to walk really slowly and listen to general exposition that's kind of filler before you get to the next big thing that's gonna happen. It really kind of felt like you were getting from like big thing to big thing.
Yeah,
and in the middle of that, it looked beautiful, but the party trick wore off pretty early on for me, I think.
Yeah.
I disagree. I really enjoyed those moments. I really enjoyed when it got very real. Just like these two people, they're friends in the army and they're just doing this sort of stuff. And they're just walking. I really enjoyed those moments where it just like really chilled out and they were just walking through the woods. And then they come to a bit where they exit the woods and then there's like this old farmhouse just off in the distance. I really enjoyed those moments because it kind of like quieted down and then it gave like, it made it feel real to me. Like I was watching real people because like in like everyone knows your day-to-day life, you're not doing crazy shit.
Disagree. So, I crashed 3 planes today.
Shit,
that's why the police were here earlier looking for you. Okay.
Yeah, it is a big change in emotion as well because that scene that you're talking about where they're like going through the woods and talking, like right before that, one of them almost died.
Yeah.
One of them almost got buried alive.
Yeah, and
I guess it is kind of weird seeing that going from that extreme to. Yeah, did you hear about this guy had his ear chewed off by a rat?
It's kind of
like
it captures that soldier mentality of like you just got to pick yourself up and keep going. Like you just have to dust yourself off and keep moving.
Yeah, at least we're not that guy. At least we didn't have our ears bitten off.
A part I really loved just after they get the orders from the general to take this letter across no man's land, they continue on until they reach the front line. In the front line, the movie gets really, really quiet, and everyone on the front isn't talking. They're all like crouched or like laying down in like the tiny little bunkers in like the very front trench. Like no one's speaking. They all have like little like battle scars and stuff like that. They walk past places that have just been bombed and it gets really, really quiet.
Yeah.
And I really that was one of my favorite parts of the films. I just loved how everyone was just so broken down emotionally, and I just like the silence in that part was just like wow. It was kind of one of those moments where I was just like.
I loved meeting the commanding officer at that point where you get there and it's like, here's the new commanding officer.
Yeah.
And they're like, we've got to go over the top.
Sherlock.
Yeah, Moriarty from Sherlock. And they're like, we've got to go over the top. And he's like, fuck, all right, cool. I mean, like, who cares at this point? Like, we just get orders and none of them make sense. I mean, you guys
if you
want to
start
go
getting
over the top?
shot, can you chuck back our
gun?
flare guns?
Yeah.
If that would be great if you could do that.
I think this movie captures really well, much like Saving Private Ryan did for me, that these are all just people that have been given a position to play. Not even necessarily that they worked their way up to that position or they earned it. They were just allocated a role and then that's just what they have to be. And then they have to follow orders from whoever was allocated a role above them. And everyone's they're all equals in this regard of that you could have been my commanding officer just as easy as I was accidentally yours. And neither of us like what's happening here.
Yeah.
Like, it's just that.
Yeah, I think what it does better than Saving Private Ryan, though, is keeps it personal. Like this...
Less Tom Hanks-ish.
Yeah. No, but this movie was... way more personal because you're really only follow
two characters and then one guy,
One guy, like, really. And there's not a lot of war, like, not a lot of fighting.
Yeah.
There's no kind of big battle scenes, like even like right at the very end when there's that awesome massive shot of everyone like running over the trenches. You don't actually really see a lot of people getting shot or dying or like.
Do you ever actually see anyone shooting apart from the main character where he has like one or two confrontations with some Germans? Do you ever actually see any battle at all?
Yeah,
I don't think you really see anything.
No.
You just see some explosions in the trenches.
It's like all in the preparation or the waiting for the anticipating of battle.
And that's what a lot of World War One was a lot of people in the trenches. 4 years, right? Yeah, and it was a lot of people getting to the point where they're like, let's just go over.
Pretty much everything leads up until the one character who was the brother of the character going to deliver the message to.
Who you'd assume is the main character.
Yes.
Yeah, his name is Blake. So you'd assume that Blake is sort of the main character you're following.
Yeah, and so it all leads up to a point where a plane gets shot down, a German plane gets shot down by the Allies. And by the Allies? Were they Allies? By the English.
Yeah.
German plane gets shot down. The German pilot survives. They pull the pilot out of the plane.
It's like a nice bit of humanity.
Yeah,
like,
he's
you're
like,
on the wrong side, but we're gonna
still help you.
Anyway.
We're not gonna let you burn alive in this plane. The main character sends the other character to go get some water, and then he turns around to the sound of what we all think is the main character being stabbed in the stomach by the German soldier. So he quickly kills the German soldier and then goes to his friend.
And even at that point, I thought this movie's going to be real fucking unbelievable if they're like, all right, tie something around his waist. Now he's going to walk the rest of the movie. I'm like, he's not going to walk the rest of the movie. Not believably,
and
anyway.
It's a very...
And he didn't.
Because it's like a one-shot film, they just stick with the two characters as one of the characters just dies, and he just dies very slowly, and then the other character's kind of just sitting there.
Like, I didn't want to go on this mission.
Yeah.
This is your fault.
There's something amazing that this film captures of like he didn't want to go on this mission once he sort of like the main character, the person that turns out to be the main character, the one whose brother isn't the one whom he does not have a brother of.
Jeez.
He sort of doesn't want to go on this mission, and it's not until his friend dies that he really takes that mission on board as like, well, now he has to have not died for nothing. Now I have to complete the mission for this to have been...
And before then, he completely lost faith in everything, right?
Yeah.
He sold his medal for a bottle of wine.
Yeah.
Because he felt like it held no
real value.
To him.
Yeah. And I mean, I guess, in a way, this movie demonstrates that to some of them it didn't. I mean, because now there's someone that's going to go home with a medal, and they just got it because they traded a bottle of wine. Like, if he knows that other people are trading medals, then his becomes worthless. The minute people start giving those medals away is the minute they lose their value.
And also, like, he's just like in that situation because they haven't eaten for like 2 days and stuff. He's like, when you're in that sort of situation, that bottle of wine is worth so much more to you than, as he calls it, a piece of tin.
Yeah.
I did like the joke that's like, it's not just a piece of tin. There's a ribbon attached to it. There's something real about that mentality of being like, who cares if I have a medal? Like, we're probably not making it home. If we do, no one cares if we've got a medal at this point. Like, if we make it home, we're heroes because we made it home. Like, it's sort of that at this point. I did find it a bit unbelievable that right as that character died, then all of a sudden, all of these British allies were just there. Like, within seconds of his friend dying, they were out in the middle of an open field. And then all of a sudden...
They say that they got there because they saw the smoke from the plane.
Yeah, but like how close were they were able to all like get there in that kind of speed?
Yeah, which is one of the problems that you have if you're not cutting in a film.
Yeah.
Like it just has to be opportunity kind of thing.
One of the biggest problems is that because it's a one take and the film went for 2 hours, everything feels like it happened in 2 hours. Because it doesn't feel like it happened over 2 days, because at no point did you see time pass that you didn't physically witness, and you're only there for 2 hours.
Anyway, he catches a lift with these fortuitous...
He captures a lift.
He just catches a lift. And then goes into probably my favourite, I guess you call it, scene of the movie.
The town?
Which is, him going through the town with the flares. And like, cinematically,
well.
that just like... That looked awesome.
He enters the town, he crosses a river, he gets shot at by a German sniper.
Yeah.
He quickly returns fire, runs up there, and he gets shot, and he shoots the German sniper at the same time, and he falls down a flight of stairs, and the screen goes black.
Yeah.
When that happened, I was
Cue
like...
guy going...
Well, when that happened, I was like, oh, this isn't a one-shot film.
So,
we all noticed, there was so many times where I was like, that's where the secret cut is.
Oh, yeah, I looked for those cuts the whole time.
There's all those moments, but at least then they were all kind of like, it's not actually cutting. Because, the entire time they were, marketing this movie, it's it's a one-shot. It's all in real time. It's a one take. That's what we're going for. And then right in the middle of the movie, the screen goes black and, 5 hours passes. And I was just like, oh, so it's not a one take then.
Yeah.
It was just one of those weird moments where I was just like, I don't know why I disliked that so much, but I did.
Just the cut to black,
Just the cut to black and the time passing, I was just like, well, then it's not a one-shot film.
Yeah, he moves on. And then, my favourite part of the movie, I think... is
running through
the town, and the flares are just flying up, which just visually makes it look awesome. Makes it look stunning. And it's
beautiful,
I guess it's one thing. Another thing that this film has done technically well is the use of natural light and the use
they
of...
had to shoot everything out in the daytime. And everything like that,
Just waiting for cloud cover and all that. That was in there behind the scenes stuff.
How have you already got there behind it? I didn't follow any of
They
the
released a bunch of it for the marketing.
Yeah,
really? Worth a watch?
Yeah. Really
Wait for
cool
streaming.
stuff.
Don't watch.
Really cool stuff.
Big watch energy. What did I say? Big screen energy.
Big screen energy.
Some made up bullshit that didn't stick to our rules. Yeah, cool. All right.
Yeah.
And then he encounters the German soldiers there.
The German soldiers.
And then he encounters the French woman.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which was... what is she doing there? How is she still there?
So he encounters a French woman who's just hiding out in an old French town, just like in the rubbles.
Well,
in the
yeah,
ruins.
it's like it's not a French town anymore. It's ruins. It's like
She's
castle
like,
ruins.
in this little under rubble room.
and she's just hiding there. She just never left
With a baby.
with other people. It was like, and I totally bought that. I was just like, if you're in that world, you don't have cars or any of that stuff. You're in like a war zone. It's like, are you just gonna burrow in, hide in that place, or are you going to try to walk to another town that you may have never been to?
And that town
with
may
a baby.
be, and that town may be overrun anyway.
Yeah.
Crazy.
I really enjoyed that scene down in the basement.
I like
with the
that
fire going.
I like that they didn't share a romance, because the minute he ran into a woman, and then she was like, "Oh, here, I'll patch up the wounded soldier," I'm like, they're gonna force a kiss or something, and I'm like, in his headspace, if they try to make this a romantic moment, I'm not gonna buy it, because he's so far
Wrecked.
from any of that right now.
Yeah.
And that scene's really amazing, especially after watching the film. You find out that he has two daughters and his wife back
right
at
the
home.
end, yeah.
Yeah.
And so it's like he has that moment where she asks him if he has any children. He doesn't say anything. It's just like,
Crazy.
I do like that, like, she needs milk, and he's like, I've got milk.
got milk?
Like, what are the odds?
Well, yeah, I don't think you can feed babies cow milk.
Yeah, I don't think it's a good
that's
idea.
okay.
I don't
But
know,
it's still better than feeding them nothing.
Yeah,
Dog food, yeah.
This is true. Sweet, and then he kind of keeps running and gets shot and dives down a river and goes for a swim.
I didn't like
And-
that.
No, you didn't
Just
like the swim?
because the odds of him surviving that, after the amount of injuries that he's taken.
Yeah. I think the only thing that saved it for me was like, yeah, that's probably about the only way that he wouldn't get run down and shot. Like, those soldiers were close. Like, I don't know if you noticed it, but like they were shooting at the hip from like maybe like 20 meters away.
Yeah.
You're like, how are you not hitting this person? But anyway, I thought the river was necessary to separate.
Yeah, to get him
like-
from scene to scene.
Again, it's that, we can't cut, so it's like we have to slow it down before we lift it back up. But then he's pretty much drowning, and he almost dies until he sees the pedals, which remind him of his boy
Yep.
that died. And then
He gets rid of all of his stuff, and he just wanders towards the sound of a voice.
yeah, it's almost like
I also really loved that moment of the film.
That was a really
Just
cool one.
wandering towards an entire group of soldiers sitting down in a circle, listening to one man.
Something
just
incredibly
singing.
human about the fact that they're just like anything that's entertainment, anything that just reminds us of home.
Take our mind off it,
anything that
yeah.
isn't war for 10 seconds.
I
And again,
love
props to the
that,
soundscape that it was completely silent except for the voice. Like, what we were listening to is what they were listening to in that moment.
I really enjoyed that as he was walking, the camera came around behind him, and you could see in the distance that there was something that wasn't right with the forest. And this was before you knew there was a battalion of soldiers there. And I just loved this. The closer and closer we got, you could just start making out the soldiers just sitting in the trees. And that was a
Something
really excellent moment.
visually spectacular about seeing a whole group of soldiers sitting down calmly as well. Because this whole film, the only time you see them sitting down is if they're dying.
Like
or
kindergarten
nearly
kids, right?
dying.
Like they're all like sitting on their
There's
bums,
something-
legs crossed,
Legs
and
crossed,
like,
hands in lap,
Yeah.
silent, just really calming. Yeah.
Like you said earlier, it felt very personal.
Anyway, he happens upon the right
The
people.
Devons,
Yeah.
right? Is that what,
Devonshire, yeah.
is that what
I
they're called?
think.
It's a bit, because as we've talked about, the one shot, it's very much like right place, right time all the time. It's like, he's like, I'm looking for the Devons. Like, that's us. Cool.
It's like right place, right time, but also they mix it with right place, like wrong place, wrong time kind of thing. Like the rat that's set off is going back. But
The
like,
rat running into the German soldiers.
so it's kind of balanced that it's lucky, but then some shit happens and like he found him, but they're too late.
But it's not like, he did it. Everything worked out. It's like, no, your best friend died. You're fucked. Like, emotionally, you are...
And because he was knocked out for so long, that he thought he had missed the opportunity to stop them from going over the top.
Well, I mean, he did kind of, because the first
he
battalion,
did, yeah.
which
went
is
over.
probably my second favorite shot, almost my first favorite shot, which is him deciding that he's not going to make it to the general in time, going through the trenches. So it's
Mr.
like,
Cumberbatch.
he just has to
Run up into no man's
land and just start sprinting.
Yeah.
Which was awesome. And the thing that, like, because that that shot is used pretty heavily in the trailers. Like,
Yeah.
seeing that, like, saying like, oh yeah,
Still watching
expecting
it in that cinema.
Watching it
What an
without the
excellent
cut.
shot.
and him getting knocked to the ground as well. He gets
Yeah, he
knocked
gets
down
knocked-
like 3 or 4 times.
Just
and,
running
like,
into other soldiers.
yeah,
Just
yeah,
that brute
epic.
determination is so empowering to watch.
Yeah. Mm.
Just the fact that he's so close. And then he gets to Brendel's stick, Cumbersnatch, and he gets there and he says, like, these are the orders. And he says, I don't want to read them. We're going over the top.
It's, yeah, we're halfway through.
And it's
our
just
plan
so heart-wrenching because earlier a general reminds me, he's like, make sure when you tell him the orders aren't to go over, make sure you do it publicly, because some men just want to fight at this point. Like, some men, they don't care if they lose. And it's like, you get there and Benedict Cumberbatch turns around and he's like, don't go over. And Benedict's like, we've come this far, we're gonna do it. We're so close to victory.
We've got them on the run. I love that moment. I love that character as well, because it's like he's been spent the last 3 years at war, just always like, you're going over in the morning. Oh no, you're not.
Yeah.
Okay, you're gonna go over the evening.
Next week at dawn. Oh, no, you're not anymore.
Next
Yeah.
week you're gonna go over the top. It's like, just all of that waiting for something to happen. He's just like, we've got them on the run.
Yeah. I think that, and I don't know about you guys, but I legitimately didn't know what the outcome was going to be with Benedict Cumberbatch's decision. I honestly thought this is definitely the type of movie that could absolutely give us that sad climax if
War
they
is
all go
hell.
over anyway.
Yeah.
I really sort of, when he was like, I'm not going to read the message, and then he walks over and he takes the message out of his hand, I thought, Benedict's going to rip it up and he's going to send 1,600 people over to die.
To the death, yeah.
And he's just going to have to run on down to the field and save Blake's brother. And I honestly thought that's where it was going. And I don't think that would have been a better ending, but the fact that I felt that was a possibility made the ending worth it. The fact that I believed this could have failed.
But I think it was nice that they kind of brought it back down to the personal level as well, because like that scene right there it's now bigger than him. Like, there's so many people here. Like, odds are massive, but then brings it back down to a personal level. Like, right, I've done my duty. Now I need to do something for my friend. Yeah. And it like brings it back, and that short interaction that he has with his brother, with Rob Stark.
I teared up.
Yeah.
One of maybe two films in the whole podcast that I've teared up.
He continues on from the commander through to like the mess. What is it, like the first aid tents?
Yeah.
So all of the people that have gone over, all the people that he failed to save, and there's people that lost limbs. They're like blood's pouring over their face.
Yeah.
They've just got like wounds and gashes out of their arms. There's blood everywhere, and he runs into Rob Stark, and
Fuck, that's who he was. Thank you for that.
and he tells him, and he tells him, that he came with his brother, and he's like, oh, my brother's here.
It's like, where is he?
It's like,
He's not here. Yeah, real brutal, and it brings it down to that. War is
Excellent acting from Rob Stark.
yeah.
Oh,
Killer.
you only have like maybe a minute with him, and you feel every emotion. I teared up in it, and I don't often tear up, but just
You lost your entire family. Your dad was beheaded. Man,
your wedding really went to shit.
yeah, your wife, your unborn child. Man, I feel for you, Rob.
Yeah, he's lived a good life though. He's done pretty well for himself. And then it ends. It ends on that kind of solemn note that he's got a
did his
wife
mission.
and kids.
Yeah, he did his
Kind
duty.
of sits back down into that same kind of shot, green field, leaning up against a
Leaning
tree,
against a tree.
which was a very important part. So I'm glad someone brought it up.
Glad someone
brought the podcast.
There's just a lot of detail right off the bat.
Yeah. All right, that's what we thought of 1917.
I loved it. I bloody loved it.
It's really good.
An awesome film.
It's a good dad film as well.
Yeah,
Tell your
great
old man to see it.
dad film. Thank you for listening.
Tell your mum to see it too.
Yeah, tell your mum to see it. All right, sweet. Thank you for listening to that one. If you
Tell
want
us what
to,
you think of the new layout.
Please
if
give
it's
us
shit, then I'm
some
sorry.
feedback.
It's the next 104 episodes.
Really weird decision to make it like our 105th episode. That's why we'll change it up.
All right, till next time.
Bye.
Bye.
Toodaloo.
Next week on the Film Slice podcast.
No, I'm your mother. What? And your lover.
What? Jeremiah? It's you?
Also, we're reviewing Cats. See you next week.